Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another video. It's been a couple weeks since the last time I posted, so I'm happy to be back. I took so many notes that I wrote down of things that I wanted to say on this video. So because this is a breastfeeding tips video, I am excited to share with you this product called the Juno Bee. I thought this product was so cool. Like, people think of everything that we need. So I'm so happy to be collaborating with this brand because this is like literally answered my questions with something that I needed. It is basically a milk cooler, a breast milk cooler. If you're pumping or if you're catching milk during the daytime while you're upstairs, you know that storing milk is kind of annoying if you have a kitchen downstairs and you need to walk all the way to the kitchen. But like, this solves your problem because you can store milk in here for 24 hours. So I think that's super duper cool. This is awesome for like if you're going on a road trip or if you're at the beach or if you're somewhere where you'll be away from home for a while. So all you do is you pour your milk into here, and then it comes with this cable and you plug it in, and then you press this button here and it starts cooling down your milk, and it pretty much stays cool. And like I said, this fixed my problem because I like to catch milk on the opposite breast while I'm upstairs sometimes, and I like to, you know, save the milk, but I don't want to like forget about it because I've done that so many times where I forget the milk on the counter and I think like, oh, I'll put it away in a little bit, and then I don't, and then the milk goes bad, and then kind of a bummer because, you know, milk is gold. Check it out and I will link it all below. Let's get to this video. I have 3 babies for those who are new. Well, they're not babies, but one of them is a 9-year-old, the other one is 6.5, and then I have a almost 3-month-old baby. I have breastfed all of my kids. They've never had a drop of formula. Not that it's bad, but this obviously is a breastfeeding tips video, so I'm just letting you know I've always breastfed. And the first one, my first daughter, I breastfed her till she was like 2.5, and I only stopped because I was pregnant with my second baby, and I breastfed her. I literally stopped breastfeeding her 3 months before she turned 5. So I breastfed her for a very long time. And it's not to say that I was ecstatic about it. I really wanted to stop the last few years, I would say, but it's just a whole other topic that if you're interested, I can talk more about that later. But I really did want to stop it before, but I also don't regret it. So now that I have my little baby, I am breastfeeding her. I'm just explaining that background that I have because I do feel a little bit like a pro when it comes to breastfeeding. However, with every single pregnancy, I did learn something new, and like this last baby, I feel like I learned even more than I thought I already knew. Obviously, like, you know, to take advice from your lactation consultant, pediatrician, and all that's who you go to in the end. We're gonna start off with the tips, okay? If you don't already know, breast milk is built on the supply and demand law or rule. The more your baby sucks on the breast, the more milk you will produce. The less your baby sucks on the breast, the less it will produce. It's just gonna go based off of what the baby is asking for. So at the beginning, I know a lot of women go through the problem where they feel like they're not producing enough milk, and that is because at the first couple days your body is giving your baby colostrum, which is a very special healthy type of milk that is more like yellowish in color, and it's very little bit. They don't get a lot of it because when the baby is born, nature has created it so that food and hunger is not priority. It's more about the antibodies and the immune system and protecting the baby. So that's why the first few days you have colostrum, so that it can give that baby like all that good gut health, build the immune system. And then like about 3 to 5 days after your actual mature milk comes in, and then that's when like it's more focused on hunger and, you know, providing the other nutrients that your baby needs. I think a lot of women at the beginning feel like they're not producing enough milk, but you just gotta keep putting your baby at the breast, and they will keep getting what they need, and then eventually the milk will come in. So what I highly suggest for you to build a really good supply with your baby is immediately after the baby's born. It's important for the baby to be with you because that's where they need to be. I know unfortunately that doesn't end up happening for all women, because they either have a C-section or there's like another type of emergency happening. So in those cases are different, but for women who don't go through that, just be aware that you have to have your baby close to you. Skin to skin is super duper important. So the baby to chest is very important for them to build the bond and to create the hormones that helps release and create milk in your body. And then it's also very important to nurse your baby within the first hour at least. Another thing is make sure not to introduce any pacifier, any formula, any bottle to the baby within at least the first month, because you don't want to confuse the baby. Babies are very sleepy at the beginning, so if you give them the pacifier, they might just fall asleep, and you may not realize that they were actually hungry and they fell asleep. Anytime they suck on something that's not you, your body is not going to create milk because the baby's not sucking on you. What if the baby was actually hungry? So that's why a lot of women, they start introducing formula to babies at the beginning because they feel like they're not producing enough milk, but that just counteracts the whole thing, because if you want your body to produce more milk, you have to bring the baby to the breast so that your body can produce more milk. So if you're giving baby formula, that whole meal is something that your body's not going to make for the baby because your body doesn't think it needs it, but it actually does, because your baby is over there drinking formula. So if you really want to establish a good milk supply, then make sure to bring the baby to breast all the time and do not introduce any artificial nipples, pacifiers, bottles, and of course formula to the baby within at least, I mean, I wouldn't introduce formula ever if you want to only strictly breastfeed, but as far as like expressing milk into a bottle or a pacifier, like I wouldn't do that at the beginning, because it can also give them like a nipple confusion, and they kind of already do have to learn a little bit to latch on properly onto the breast. This is just like the general advice. Like if it's something specific to your situation where, like, say you needed to go to surgery or like something, like, and obviously like do whatever you gotta do to take care of the baby. Another thing that's very important is stay hydrated. I'm always talking about the importance of staying hydrated, because sometimes we don't even realize that we're not hydrated. A lot of people don't. Always make sure to drink water before feeding and just throughout the entire day, but especially before feeding, and I really do feel like it helps. I also drank a lot of those body armors, which I had never heard of them before this. They're kind of like Gatorades, but they're like, I guess, a healthier version, and you know, they have electrolytes, and I had to drink a lot of those because I was anemic and I had low sodium after I had the baby, and that just helped me. But I also highly recommend those. I drank those maybe only the first like 4 to 6 weeks after I had the baby, but they really did help me. Another thing is eat well. Make sure that you are having snacks throughout the day, having meals throughout the day. It's actually more important to have 6 smaller meals than like 3 huge meals, because you want to keep your sugar levels up, you want to keep your energy high. Obviously if you eat healthier foods, then you know that'll help your body, because the baby is going to take all the good stuff from you, the best that your body can give through the breast milk. So making sure that you're staying healthy so that you can stay strong as well. Another thing is make sure you're still taking your prenatals. It's very important for you. Like I said earlier, you want to take care of your body because your body is giving your baby everything, the best of you, so you want to make sure to keep taking care of yourself. I don't think this happens to all women, but I have heard of this happening to many women, and I'm one of those women where during breastfeeding my body holds on to weight. So they say that breastfeeding does help you lose weight, and I think it does, because you do burn about like 200 to 400 calories, I believe it is, from breastfeeding. And however, I did drop a lot, most of the weight at the beginning, but I always hold on to like those last 15 pounds, and I do not end up losing that weight until maybe like 9 months to a year after the baby is born. So I think that's my body's way of just like keeping a reserve so that I can, you know, have that extra energy for the baby. And I'm okay with it, because I know that it always ends up going away and I end up back to normal. Obviously working out can help with that too, like getting some exercise is important. I still haven't gone back to exercising, but I really want to. So yeah, that's a whole other topic, but I just wanted to put that out there because I don't know if enough people know about that. I brought my daughter's doll to get to this next part, which is tips on how to actually feed the baby. People, whether you're breastfeeding or not breastfeeding, this is something that everyone needs to know. So I don't think people realize how baby's position should be during breastfeeding, or like I said, any kind of feeding. So the baby is supposed to be like in line, like completely in line with their body during breastfeeding. So like this. And I know I've seen people where the baby is like this and the head is like this. I had a lactation consultant tell me about this after I had my first baby, so luckily I was aware of it. But yeah, this isn't comfortable, this isn't natural. Just picture yourself turning sideways and then drinking some water. Like I try to do it when I'm like, you know, in bed, and I try to like drink water sideways. Like it feels really weird and it's not comfortable, and like you have to completely turn your baby to have them in line so that it can be easier for them to eat. And then also at the beginning especially, you know, like I said, skin to skin is super important. If you could do skin to skin for like at least 1 week after you have the baby, that's awesome, you should. Because I did skin to skin for, I can't remember if it was 2 weeks, it was for sure at least a week. We were literally skin to skin all day. One of my midwives was telling me about the vagus nerve. If you haven't heard of it, it's like this like nerve. Baby feeding on you in this position where they're like, their vagus nerve and my vagus nerve are, you know, touching in the same area. It is so good for them for digestion because of the position they're in, but also baby's nervous system is still regulated through your nervous system. You and baby are still connected at the beginning until they learn to regulate it on their own. So it's very important for you to put baby there. It helps with everything. Like it helps with bonding, it helps with their health, it helps with their digestion. My midwife told me that babies prefer this position, and I know that out there's so many different types of breastfeeding positions that you can put your baby in. Like there's like the cradle, there's like this one, I think it's the football hold or something. The reason why this one isn't the best is because like the vagus nerve and the vagus nerve, you know, they're like completely not touching, and you know, you want baby close to your heart, close to you, so that they can feel safe and secure. And I think I hear baby Aurora. Let me go check on her. Okay, I'm back with baby Ari. Say hi, baby girl. Look at her hair, guys. She has a mohawk. Everyone always talks about it. Okay, so I'm taking advantage to just show you guys how I'm nursing her right now. So I fixed her into this position. This is the position I was talking about, where, you know, we're more skin to skin, our vagus nerves are more in line, she's more upright. So I was doing the cradle hold before that. I've been doing that a little bit more often lately, only because she's getting bigger, and if I'm in a certain position, like her legs, like she starts kicking off and pushing, and she's getting very like distracted lately. Sometimes I have to hold her in that position so I can have like a better hold of her. I always try to do this position better. Her legs are cradled between my legs, so she has, I mean, like straddled between my legs, so one leg here, one leg on the inside, and then she's more upright. Her body is close to mine, her belly is close to mine, and I just felt the letdown reflex right here, and she's gobbling. Can you hear? I don't know if you can hear because there's rain outside. At the beginning, when I first introduced baby to breast, within the first hour, midwives told me that whenever she comes off the breast, to switch over and try the other side, always offer the other side. A pacifier can be okay to introduce a little bit later. Like before you introduce a pacifier, it's important that you build your supply, make sure you have a good supply, and that baby is gaining weight well. And yeah, only do it if, you know, for cases like that where you like really need them for comfort, or like if you're driving in the car, it could be good for like, I would say not to introduce it if you don't need to. Okay, so during the first 2 weeks, usually doctors will let you know this before you leave the hospital, or if you have a home birth, like your midwives will let you know that you need to make sure to offer the baby your breast every 2 to 3 hours, because like I said, you want to establish your supply. And babies at the beginning can be very sleepy, so they may sleep past it even though they're hungry. Nowadays we set babies down more than back in the day when like we lived more like in tribes, or we lived more like, you know, out in nature. Babies were, hi baby girl, she's watching me. Hi! Babies were more close to us, like on wraps, or like just like close to us. There wasn't many things like cribs and beds and that kind of furniture. You know, when baby is close to you, they can kind of smell you more, they feel you more, they might wake up more because, you know, you're moving around and you're talking, opposed to like if you put them like in a quiet room and let them sleep. You know, a newborn can sleep through that because, you know, they're so little. It's important to wake them up if it's been 3 hours or more than 3 hours. Going off on what I just said, into skin and being close to baby, really helps give you cues as to when baby is hungry and when baby is tired. So baby close to you is really important at the beginning. I know it kind of depends on what you believe in, but that's just my tip. Like, I think that babies do need to be really close to you long as possible. When a baby cries, it's already kind of too late, that you didn't read their signs before that, which I don't want you to feel bad about it, because, you know, my baby cries, all my babies have cried, but you can kind of help and be more in tune with your baby if you just like are closer to them and, you know, keep them close to you. Baby starts like trying to suck on their hand, or they start like smacking their lips, and then you can kind of get a sense of when they're, or just like when they start fussing a little bit, you know that, you know, they need something. What do you need right now? What do you need? Are you full? Look at that double chin. Baby Aurora was born at 6 pounds 1 ounce. She was my smallest baby, and you could tell like she looked really small. Her face looked like super skinny, her legs were super skinny, and it just, the proudest, I mean, I think a lot of women feel like, a lot of mothers, they feel like so happy when they see their kids eating at any age. But seeing my baby get chubby gives me so much pride and joy, because I know that I helped her gain weight, I helped her get healthy. I'm literally keeping her alive. So if you're a breastfeeding mama, you should definitely pat yourself on the back, because it is an amazing thing that we do by raising little humans and keeping them alive with their milky. And so this double chin, it's so cute, and it's just so different from when she was first born. She was so skinny. But now we're a chubby little ball. Oh, you're a chubby ball now. So now I want to get into the products that I like that help support breastfeeding. So aside from the milk cooler, with the Junobi milk cooler that I talked about at the beginning, this is a for sure must, and like I said, I've reviewed it and I loved it. So the next one that I recommend is, this is the Haka. It's a milk catcher. I thought when I first found out about this, I thought it was like the most amazing invention as well. So like I mentioned earlier about the letdown reflex, so if you're a new mom and you're pregnant, so while you're breastfeeding your baby on one breast, on the other breast, you can put this on your breast and it'll catch the milk that falls out, because milk comes out of the other side as well when you have the letdown reflex. And it's kind of a lot of milk that you're, I guess, wasting if you don't catch it. And you will see it, especially at the beginning. If you use one of these, you will see how you can fill one of these up. So I thought this was an amazing invention, because you can collect milk without even having to pump and not doing any extra work really, besides like the little extra steps you need to take to like just like pour it into a bag and like freeze it. But I've collected a pretty good supply. There's a bunch of things that breast milk is good for, and I actually created a blog post with breastfeeding fun facts that I will link down below if you want to read it. It's pretty interesting, the things that breast milk can do and the way breastfeeding works. So it's just like really cool facts. Also, if you are not subscribed to my email list, you should do so as well, because I can send you like new recipes or new things, new blog posts or like information. So the way that this milk catcher works is, there's a lid and you open this flange back like that. And then what I used to do at the beginning, before I knew this extra step, is I would just like directly put it on the nipple, and then you like pull the flange back, and then like it grabs like a suction of your boob, and then like whatever milk comes out, you know, will land in here. But I found out a new trick, which is where you squeeze it and then you put it on and let it go, and then it's an actual suction now. So I think when you do that step, it not only catches your milk that's falling out. Sorry, I'm talking over Aurora. She's smiling at me. But it also sucks a little bit more out. You're still going to need nursing pads. I like to have these. And these are amazing. Oh my gosh. These right here are the best ones that I have found. They are by K Babies. I think that's how you pronounce it. And you can find them on Amazon. On my registry, my aunt sent me them, but she sent me 2. I don't know if it was by accident, 2 like packs. So I have like tons of them, and it actually ended up being perfect. But yeah, the backing is kind of like maybe like a polyester or something to like protect from like the milk going all the way through and like wetting your bra and stuff. So I really recommend them because they're like big. They're organic cotton as well. Another thing I recommend is the Stanley bottle, or like a reusable bottle. I will link my favorites down below. Those are good just to keep you hydrated, and you know, you're gonna be breastfeeding all day, you're gonna be feeding your baby all day, so make sure you're staying hydrated. And then the other thing I recommend is a manual breast pump. I do not like pumping. I'm not a fan of it, but if you do ever need to get some milk out, or say you're gonna leave the baby with someone and you need to get milk out, I recommend the manual Medela pump because it's cheap and it gets the job done. So now I'm going to get into some troubleshooting tips. Sometimes it is true, babies might not be getting all the milk they need, or breastfeeding might be very painful. Doctors do not know about this and they don't teach new moms about this, but lip ties is a thing, tongue ties is a thing. If you don't know what it is, a lip tie is where like, see the little skin thing that is like attaching your lip to like the inside of your gums. If it's really tight there, or if it's like really low, then your baby probably has a lip tie. I have like a stage 2 lip tie, so it's pretty common, but people don't know about it, and so then people end up not really understanding why the breastfeeding is so difficult, and it's because they don't have enough support or knowledge when it comes to it. I literally didn't know about it till this baby. I now know that Juliet, my second baby, has a lip tie, and it's pretty more like stage 3, stage 4. It can be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Hi my love. But breastfeeding went really well. We obviously breastfed for like almost 5 years and everything was fine, so it didn't affect it. Aurora also has a little bit of a lip tie, kind of like Juliet. It's like stage 3 or 4, I think. Aurora might have actually the worst lip tie, or like the most severe lip tie from the 3 of the babies that I have. But we've been breastfeeding and she's been getting well. At the beginning, there was a little bit of latch problems, and because of her lip tie, it causes the baby not to be able to latch on properly. Their lips are supposed to be wide open and like out, and like that helps them suction better. But her lip is tight here because of the lip tie, so her lip stays kind of like in when she's breastfeeding. but she's been able to still breastfeed fine. The only problem that caused was nipple damage, which was very, very painful. I think that might have led to mastitis as well. If you're able to speak with the lactation consultant, they are aware of it, because I don't think everyone is aware of it. Like, keep that in mind, that can cause baby to not feed well. You could get the lip tie fixed. I think they do, like, they numb it and they like laser and kind of like rip that apart. The midwife said that if baby is gaining weight, eating well and all that, then it's not necessary. We didn't need to, but it doesn't mean that I still don't want to do it, because lip ties can sometimes be the cause of like open mouth breathing at night especially, and that can lead to so many more other problems, but like that's a whole different topic. Another thing is, if you notice that you are producing more milk on one breast than the other, or the baby prefers one breast or the other, that has nothing to do with you. That usually has to do with the baby and their preference. So that actually happened with me too, and that can have something to do with like tension from like when they were being pushed out, or like the way the position they were in your body. So that can lead to, you know, a preference for one side or the other, because of just like some type of tension that can cause it to be harder for them to breastfeed on one side, so then they have a preference for the other. But there's exercises that you can do to help fix that, and one of them is the guppy hold, which is like when you put your baby like this in this kind of position, and then you let their head slowly hang back, and then you slowly guide them to turn to one side, and then you slowly guide them to the other side. That can help with tension. You can search guppy hold on YouTube, and then like you'll find a video of how to do it. I'm pretty passionate about nursing. I've breastfed for so long, so if you have any other questions or any more specific questions or anything like that, like please let me know below. I will be so happy to answer them. And that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon on my next vlog. And bye. Goodbye, baby. Hi, baby girl. Hi.